Hey everyone, Morgan here. So today I want to talk about spices. Now, let me be real with you for a second. I was never like a big spice person. Like I was never like that person that was all like, oh, I gotta have spices in all my meals. Oh, I gotta spice it up. Oh, I was never like a spice snob. When I cooked, it was very, very simple stuff, right? I basically used just salt and pepper and that was it. But recently, especially when I've been learning more about herbal, spices and things like that, basically medicinal herbs, a lot of this stuff, if you just put it on your food, you realize how many benefits it has for your body. Spices aren't just spice up your food and make it a little more edible, which that's part of it, but it's also, for good health and for good, just overall wellness. So, but anyway, a lot of this stuff is also just to make stuff taste better, right? And you can make your own spices. That's one of the great things. We used to make, husband used to make his own spices when he was on keto. He would make his own taco spices. It was like keto taco spices. Who knew that, regular taco spice from the store, wasn't keto friendly? Anyway, but he would make his own taco seasoning. And so that was cool. But when we moved into the RV, we had to downsize like a lot. Like we used to have just like a whole cabinet full of spices. Okay, so here are some of my favorite spices, ones that I kept around, and a couple of ones that I added recently. But first of all, cinnamon. Gotta have cinnamon. Cinnamon's just great on everything. You can make cinnamon rice, cinnamon on oatmeal, like I was talking about in yesterday's video. I use so much cinnamon. I put cinnamon in my coffee, okay? Cinnamon is life, okay? Oregano, gotta have oregano. I love oregano. Get your own oregano plant and then actually, have fresh oregano. That's a great way to do it too. But, freeze dried oregano. You can also dehydrate, or dry your own oregano and mint. I have a whole bunch of dried mint. It's not in my spice cabinet, but I have a whole bunch of dried mint as well. I make my own medicinal tea. So I have oregano, mint, all that kind of stuff. Red cayenne pepper. So if you know me, you know that I am not a huge fan of spice, but sometimes I like to add the red cayenne pepper, and it has a lot of medicinal purposes in it as well. So red cayenne pepper is really, really good. Paprika. I'm a little obsessed with paprika. I love paprika, especially, on eggs. Paprika is just really, really good. Let's see. Oh, ground nutmeg, super good. I put this with meats. It just brings out like this great flavor. The Italian seasoning, I think the Italian seasoning is just like a mix of basil, rosemary, thyme, oregano, sage, and marjoram or whatever. So, you can make your own, mix of Italian seasoning, but I like, a little mix of everything, with this Italian seasoning. Okay, so ground ginger. I love ground ginger. I've been putting it in our ground beef and your ground turkey, your eggs. I actually use ground ginger in my herbal tea as well. Ginger is so good for you. It's ridiculous how good ginger is for you. So definitely have some ground ginger. Onion powder, really good to have. And also one that I couldn't find. I don't know if we're out of or I misplaced it, but garlic powder, not just onion powder, but garlic powder as well. Garlic powder is like the staple in every household. It's salt, pepper, garlic powder. But then, of course, salt and pepper. You can't forget the salt and pepper. That's a staple that every single household, I think, has. But yeah, definitely have lots of salt and pepper. It's so easy to store salt and pepper. Just store it. You need salt and pepper for salt specifically. You need for a lot of recipes, and as humans, we need salt intake just every day. And then if you're higher activity, you need even more of it. And every human, by the way, needs a different amount of salt. It's not like it's not. New studies have actually shown that every single person individually needs different amounts of everything, nutrition, but more specifically sodium intake. So like one person may need a ton more, and some people may need way less. And it's not based on medical conditions, but just who that person is. Anyway, one that is kind of our allspice Red Robin seasoning. This is the Red Robin original seasoning. You can actually buy this online. We use this on everything. This is our allspice. The ingredients are salt, dried cane syrup, sea salt, black pepper, celery seed, cumin, oregano, sage, some paprika, some smoke flavor, some like dried tomato powder. Anyway, we love this freaking, we love this seasoning mix. It's so good. It makes just everything taste so delicious. So that's definitely one that is a staple in our household. But I would love to know what's a staple in your guys' household. And listen, if you don't store spices yet, you need to start playing around with spices in your home cooked meals and really, you know, figure out what you like it with, and experiment. Just pour some stuff in, right? Okay, just don't be scared. Of course, just try a little at a time and then go from there. But basically, the way that I found that these things taste good in the food that we eat is I just put it on. I'm like, you know what, that should probably taste good, and I put it in there. And that's how you learn, you know. But you can also, you know, go online and learn about spices or whatever. But you know, if you're not a chef or anything, just experiment and have fun with it. And if it didn't work out, oh well, now you know not to put Red Robin seasoning on bananas or something, right? And I mean, you know, you just live and learn. So anyway, what spices do you have? And if you don't have spices, you know, what I would suggest when it comes to storing spices is you can store them in the original container, but you could also put them in like a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber, or just like just a regular Mylar bag. And then they also make, you know, you could also vacuum seal them, and they also make just regular, they also make individual packets of seasonings, so that are already packaged like that, you know, like the little packaging of salts and peppers and things like that. So you could look for that as well if you don't want to, you know, package them yourselves or whatever. But yeah, you know, you could store it like this, unopened, and it'll last quite a while, or pour it into like a Mylar bag, and that'll keep it lasting much longer, right? All right, thank y'all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Don't forget the spices in your preps. It helps to make your food just, you know, it helps to break up the monotony of your stored food. Thank y'all so much for watching. Conquer tomorrow by preparing today. Talk to y'all later. Bye.